So, did something happen today?
Maybe.
Ah, thank goodness. I'd hate to sit here and talk about, who we're going to draft in the 6th round again. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Dan Snyder's going to sell the team. Dan Snyder's going to sell the team. But what does that mean? I think we'll talk about that next.
Right now? Right now?
Sure. Let's go.
Right now. Let's go.
Now.
Giddy up. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all around the world. It is April 13th. Welcome back to our weekly live stream, coming at you live and direct from Commanders Nation. That was your boy Phil on the intro. That's Dev up in the corner, and I am Steve. Coming into you for my last day of vacation, by the way. Enjoying myself.
Because T-Ho is back in the chat already.
T-Ho, long time no see, bro. How have you been? I feel like we haven't seen you since last season. Or towards the middle part of last season, I would say. I think it's definitely been a minute. Welcome back.
He got a chance to come on the show and then just never showed up ever since.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's been back now.
This is episode 193 for your boys. Mock drafts and no sale. Clearly, this thumbnail and the title was developed today before a lot of breaking news that we had earlier today. But hey, it's cool. But where everyone else is probably going live, we're going live like we always do every Thursday. Okay, so this is not a spur of the moment thing. This is all weekly scheduled. But the team is tentatively. We're getting closer. Okay, I still have my own reservations about this.
We're at the 1 yard line. We're at the 1 yard line, and we're running a wishbone with Riggins, Gerald Riggs, and Ryan Robinson in the background.
Listen, y'all remember mid-March we were at the 1 yard line. I said, listen, if we're at the 1 yard line, we got two 15-yard personal foul penalties, and Taylor Heineke's got a strip sack, and now we're working our way back as of today. So if we were on the 1 yard line, we went back to the 50, and in the last 30 days, we got back up to wherever we are now. I'll say we're inside the red zone. How about we just say that? We'll just say that. T-Ho says, let's get this ship rolling. Yeah, man, let's get it rolling. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show rolling. So the latest team news, in principle, Dan Snyder, according to Sportico, said, in principle, Josh Harris has bought this team for $6 billion. I saw 6.05. You're seeing some different fluctuations in the actual specific price, but the two sides apparently have been working on this for months. And then there's a Snyder insider, I forget his name, Gasparino, who supposedly is leaking a lot of this stuff. I don't know if you guys saw his tweets. He's kind of been, it almost looks like a Dan Snyder burner account talking about, apparently he's Snyder's inside guy, but he's been talking about Bezos this, Bezos that, Harris this, Harris that, and that, I don't know, speculation that he's being used to rack up the price. But hey, that's business, that's capitalism. I ain't mad if Dan was actually doing that. I could give, two S's. We're still within the first, quarter of the second. So, but the cloud might be lifted, just like T-Ho said. How have you been? So happy the dark cloud is over. So, Dev, what is your opinion? We were on the 1 yard line last month. What do you think about now?
Well, I would just like to say, the witch is dead, the witch is dead, the witch is dead. The wicked witch is dead. That's how I feel. I feel like one of the Munchkins.
One of the Munchkins?
Is that what they're called? The little people on
Lollipop Kids?
I don't think those are Lollipop Kids, right? Are they the Lollipop Kids?
On Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were the Munchkins.
I do too.
Well, the Lollipop Guild. Sorry, we represent Yeah. If you're talking about the same people, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to look it up.
All right. Ryan Elias from YouTube. Happy D-Day. Thank you. Now, what does D stand for? Because I know your wife is a Dallas Cowboys fan. So we got to talk about this. We're going to have an intervention with you soon, but you got to tell us what the D is.
Does anyone it's funny because Josh Harris owns the Philadelphia 76ers, right? And a friend of mine said that this is proof that Philly always owns DC. I said, wrong. Josh Harris is a DC area native. He's from Chevy Chase. I said, this is actually proof
Montgomery
that
County stand up.
has always owned Philly.
Montgomery County stand up. Marcus Edelin, thank you for joining Sports View 2 group on Facebook. Go check them out. Says, what up, family? I believe the Harris Group is going to be the next owner. All signs are pointing to that. But I want to say, for those who are just joining, Sportico released at 2:30, shortly after they said that the Harris Group, in principle, had agreed to a sale of 6.05, that Canadian billionaire Steve Apostolopoulos was still in the running, still very well in the running. So it's all this smoke. I don't know what to believe. I mean, we know we're getting close, but I mean, at this point, do you care whether it's the Harris, Rails, Magic Group? We don't know anything about this Canadian billionaire.
I do.
Steve Apostolopoulos. I feel like the Magic.
Here's the thing. I really don't care. I don't care as much now because Bezos is out.
Right.
That I was not a big. I just did not like the idea of Bezos owning his team for many reasons.
Yeah.
But I'd rather it be the Harris Group because of the fact that you do want to see the local boys do good, right? And I know we just had that with Dan.
It's magic.
I know we just had that with Dan.
Oh, it's magic.
But both Harris and Rails are local guys.
Yes.
And Rails has experience, obviously, because he's the one who got sports talk radio introduced into DC. And Harris has owned sports teams that have done fairly well. So I think you have an ownership group that's going to be headed by two people who have a better sense of how to own the team. They're not going to be fans with a ton of money.
Yeah.
And that's what Dan was, especially in the early days. And then it got so bad that he became Dan the Recluse, you know. But I think you're going to have you have an ownership group with a better sense of, okay, this is where we are, this is where we want to be, and this is how we get there.
Right.
So,
shout out to Caleb joining us from YouTube. He said, tell the NFL we back up. Oh, and by the way, it's Howl season. It is Howl season. Let's go. Howlers unite, man. We got to rally around our guy. Unless something crazy happens in 2 weeks, then we might be rallying around somebody else. But even Dev will be rallying around Howl. I know you will, Dev. Hey, earlier in the chat over in our Twitter chat, the spaces, shout out to the 54th. They were doing a lounge session listening to mostly go-go, but it was like old school versus new school, man. It was kind of funny to hear the banter go back and forth. Shout out to all our peeps over there. Ryan says the downing of the most hated man in DC, D. Snyder.
Who's going to replace him? Who y'all going to hate now in DC?
Well, I'm sure
the learners.
People will shift their hate to something else. So it'll be Ron if we're still mediocre. It'll be, yay, new owners. Ron, you suck. You get fired.
All right, now I'm talking about not football.
Oh, they're already. I've already seen people call for that. I'm like,
yeah,
you guys are stupid. You want to change the entire coaching staff like 2 weeks before the draft?
Yeah. T Hill says if Josh Harris is owning this team, should we root for the 76ers New Jersey Devils? No.
Motherfucker, I'm a Knicks fan.
Caps and Wizards, man.
I'm a Knicks and Panthers fan.
Caps and Wizards. If you're Caleb, you like the Mavericks.
I'm a Panthers fan and a Knicks fan.
South. Hey, yo, I'm here. What's up, South? Thank you for joining us also in our Twitter DM group. What's going on? It is lying season, according to T-Ho. He did say it's lying season. T-Ho also says it's howl season. It is. Our boy Marcus says Josh Harris was a minority owner of the Steelers, and Magic know how to get a good culture in a sports team. That's why I want the Harris Group.
They also didn't pay anybody either.
do you mean?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but you know what I'm not looking forward to? And I don't think anyone's talking about it. So let it be known it's breaking here first. We get a new owner, we get a new stadium, right? Everyone's fat and happy now, but with a new stadium, what happens? PSLs, seat licenses. So what your $1,500 season tickets, you will now have to pay $2,500 to own the right to buy those tickets, and that offsets the cost of the stadium. The team can raise about $300 million from PSLs alone. It's coming. No one's talking about it. Command this. Coming. Bring it up first.
Now here's the thing.
PSLs are coming.
Here's the thing. And this was brought up. I was for those who weren't over, I was on Ref the District before I came onto this pod, and we discussed this briefly. And I kind of let this. I saw the story before, but then someone brought it up and made a good point. We may see the end of FedEx, but we're going to see we may see a new stadium just down the road from FedEx.
Yeah,
because the developer of One Loudoun has now sunk $1 billion into developing area near FedEx.
Oh,
near the metro
for Jay Gruden.
No, God, no. No. Do not put a Bar Louie in whatever this new complex is, because Jay will find his way there to hit on drunken co-eds.
Scores. That's DC. But Caleb says the Wizards owner's next, man. He's terrible. Yes, Ted Leon says that mofo blocked me on Twitter like 3 years ago because I was bashing Ernie Grunfeld, who was the Bruce Allen of the NBA. Just ran the team into the ground.
Hold on.
Ernie Grunfeld was
won
some
a
shit.
Stanley Cup, and he was the
Ernie Grunfeld was whack.
Ernie Grunfeld was terrible. Leon,
Grunfeld was terrible. Leon says owns the Capitals,
but he doesn't do anything for the Wizards. Are just like there. The Capitals were all his time and money and effort. The Wizards just like
because the Capitals
side
win.
piece. Yeah,
the Capitals got some big wins and went to World Championships, man. And stuff, man.
They won a
cup. We got the cup in 2018,
and then the Nats won it in 19, and then
But we should hate the Mariners right now because they're trying to tank.
Yeah, man. Well,
it could be worse. It could be a playoff team like Miami and like 8 people show up to the game. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I do want to put something out. So we all know Tillman Farida. He did have a bid, if you guys remember, initially. And
who was that?
Tillman Farida. He was one of the original bidders.
What does he do?
I don't remember what he does. He's a businessman.
He's got tons of money. That's what matters.
Yeah. Is he the one that owns the Rockets? I can't remember.
No, please, whatever we do, don't get that guy there.
All right, listen, he said, I'll flat out be honest. I made a bid on the Commanders at $5.6 billion. That's the value that Forbes had them at. And at some point, you got to draw a line in the sand on everything. That's where we are. If they can get somebody to pay them more than that, good luck to them. That's all I can say. I own a franchise, so I love them selling for a lot. But at some point, I don't think $6 billion is the right number. So he was making a business decision. That
is such a cheap statement. He's preying on stupidity to say that.
Yeah, so he owns the Rockets. He owns the Houston Rockets.
No one buys a team for the valuation.
Yeah, but if he had a number in his mind, he says everybody that watched me do business for the last 40 years know when I draw a line in the sand, I'm done. So I'm here. I can close. That's the way it is. He was just talking about his business acumen, I guess.
The Rockets are basically the Commanders of basketball. Do you really want him owning this team?
Yeah, the Rockets have had some great prestige in the past, though.
Not since the 90s.
No, they had some good playoff runs with Harden. They got to the conference finals twice?
Yeah.
In 20 years?
But they had great teams. Remember Stevie Francis, Robert Horry, Hakeem Olajuwon. They've had good players over the years.
Horry and Olajuwon is the 90s, okay? I'm talking about
I'm just talking about
Harden got an MVP, or he didn't win an MVP, but he was an MVP candidate.
And he didn't win shit with them, so I don't want to hear it.
Conference finals. In the West, when they were good, the West was good.
There is look. The Rockets are the epitome of teams that failed to play up to the amount of talent they had on their franchise. So
yeah, well, shout out to our boy.
Farida his way on out the door.
It's all smoke and mirrors, man. It's smoke season. Shout out to George Carmy. Command the mic with George Carmy. If you haven't already done so, please go like and subscribe his YouTube channel. Good man, George. We love you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Says, what's up, gentlemen? Thank you. Shout out to Commanders Podcast. Good man. And yesterday, we just got news allegedly that Bezos said he was out. He said he was out, according to AJ Perez from Front Office Sports. So Bezos said he was out, step one. Farida says he was out, step two. Sportico says the Harris Group has agreed in principle to a deal. 3 hours later, Sportico also says Steve Apostolopoulos is still in the running. So I don't know what to believe. I have no idea. Either way, like Phil said.
What is Sportico's credibility?
I don't know. I didn't even heard of Sportico till today, bro.
Same here.
Mean, call me naive.
I mean, granted, everybody else jumped on the bandwagon.
I go Sportico to get
everybody else jumped on the Harris's buying bandwagon.
Yeah,
I think I'll go Sportico.
I haven't seen anyone else about Apostolopoulos
Me
buying.
neither.
I think I'll go Sportico to get the NBA starting five. I think I go.
Yeah. Yep. And George says, I love me some Stevie franchise. Hey, I love him
too.
I'm
a Maryland guy.
Stevie, yeah, man. Stevie Francis, man, was just
Yao Ming too.
Amazing. He did have him. All right, this next topic I want to bring up. I brought this up on Twitter early today from the Command This Podcast Twitter handle at @command_this, and got roasted. And then people were acting like this was my article. Like, I'm not a writer. I could write. I'm not a writer. George is a great writer. Go check out George at fullpresscoverage.com for Commander stuff. I'm not a writer. I could write, but I don't have a desire to do that. I like to do this. I like to do podcast. I like to use my voice. I not so much into the video, but like the voice. People roast me for this, and all I did was pose a question to generate dialogue on Twitter, and you would be shocked at some of the people how hostile they would get when I mentioned this trade. And you guys haven't seen it yet, but I'm about to show you right now. Okay. I want to get your honest to God take
about Eric's sermon real quick.
All right. The title of this article, these articles are called Hypothetical Superstar Trade Package That Would Shake Up the 2023 NFL Season. I'm going to go to ours specifically, and then I'll come back to the one that, the other ones here. Okay. So here is ours. The trade was basically trading Montez Sweat and Chase Young to the Seattle Seahawks. Okay.
Could they have picked a worse picture of Chase Young?
And this is what we would get. The Commanders would get. Sorry, let me make this a little bigger for you. Commanders would get the 2023 first round pick, which is number 20, the 2023 second round pick, which is 37, and the 2023 third round pick, which is 83. And then we would get up Sweat and Young. Now, keep in mind, Seattle also has the 5th overall pick.
You got roasted for this?
I got roasted for this, just to present it for
you dialogue. Should be roasted for this. That was dumb as hell.
Let's talk about it, Dev. So, where'd it go? Sorry, I apologize.
Hold on, I'm going to do something real quick. Put that back up. I'm going to do something real quick while you explain the thought process. But put that trade back up so I can see it. I want to.
Okay. Here we go.
I want to talk. I want to see something real quick. I'll be back.
Here is the trade, Dev. Commanders receive. Now tell me why. Now, a lot of people said on Twitter that we should potentially ask for the 5th. This is all hypothetical, right? It's slow news cycle. We ain't have shit else to talk about. But people don't like it. I mean, Montez, you're not signing them both. One of those guys is leaving. So
maybe we are.
But at what expense, though?
Did you think we were going to sign both Payne and Allen?
I thought we were gonna sign 3 out of the 4 front. However you cut it up, 3 out of the 4 staying. One's going. We got 2.
I think if you want to do that again, you will go Tez, Chase, and Curl. Now, 2 out of those 3 might be here.
Would you want to lose Sweat or Chase at the expense of keeping Curl?
No, I would lose Curl.
You would lose Curl and keep
easier to replace a defensive back.
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry, easier to replace. We can replace him right now. Honestly, we just start one of those guys. He would be not as be as good, but I mean, I don't know. I get what you're saying here, because if you think about it, I would trade any one of those maybe for a first round pick. Maybe that's an iffy, but I definitely would. You trade Montez Sweat for a second round pick straight up? I would do a number 2. Would you trade Montez Sweat for a 2?
No, I would trade him for a first, depending on where that.
All
first
right,
is.
So what you said? What would you give up Chase Young for a 2?
Here's the problem. It's hard to make this judgment now because we don't know what Chase is going to be coming into 2023.
Man,
I wouldn't
Chase the end of last year. I wouldn't give up for that. Like it wouldn't make sense to give up if you wouldn't give up each of these players for a second round pick. Then what are you getting for him besides a first round pick? You might as well just give him.
I would also ask for a 2024 first round pick.
Maybe then
you're not getting enough.
Maybe then you're talking.
The value is not there for sure. A couple comments. Greg Delaney from Facebook joined us, said, "That's crazy. Washington definitely lose this trade." Yes, I think we lose this trade as it stands right here. George says you got to keep at least one of the 2. And then T-Ho says we can't trade away both of our edge rushers. Both are young and developing. Montez is at the end of it. He's on his 5th-year deal. Chase is going into his 4th year.
I'm telling y'all right now,
listen,
Jalen slides to us, the defensive end. I'm picking him, bro.
Jalen Carter?
I'm telling y'all, man. You would think I'm crazy if he slides,
I know.
Man.
George has Jalen Carter going to Seattle, right, George? I believe he does. And I think that's where he's going to go to. Jalen Carter, the beast out of Georgia. Now, he has his maturity issues. He has the legal issues. If you remember, he'd gotten that car accident and the passenger passed away. But I think despite that, I think he's going top 5 or 6. Will Anderson might go above him.
No, he wasn't in the car accident. They were drag racing in the other car.
I know. I'm just saying he was involved in it, and people are starting to use that, whatever. But George asked a great question. Who would you rather keep, Sweat or Young? If you had to keep one person.
Sweat or Young?
Sweat.
Young.
Who? Young.
I'll keep Young.
You keep Young. Phil, who would you keep if you had to choose one?
By the way, I tried that trade, or I tried to find a way to do that trade on PFF, and it's like 37% of that being chance that being accepted
by Washington.
Anyway, as of right this moment, Sweat. I am holding out all evaluation on Chase Young though until this season.
Yeah,
I'm still going
people really downplay for the sake of their own argument exactly how serious that injury was that he had.
Yeah,
they think because they just in their minds it's torn ACL. Guys come back from it all the time.
Well, he still came back more than solid linebacker. Now, I don't like I've explained on this show a countless amount of times. You're not going to see the sack totals that you see some of these crazy numbers that the Bosa guys are getting in Washington because they don't send more than 4, man. You're never going to catch a lineman slipping. You're always going to fight through a guy, and most of the time 2 guys to get a sack. They're always going to get the ball off right in time. You're going to get a lot of hurries, not going to get a lot of sacks. So it's hard to quantify his numbers. But if you look at all the micro stats on his
advanced metrics, advanced
metrics, he kills everything, man. There's no way
teams,
you get rid of a guy just because you look up and see 10, 11 sacks, man.
Yeah.
This guy's getting 10, 11 sacks every year in the draft and get drafted late. I love Montez. I don't want to lose any of them, bro. But if you ask me to lose one, I'm sorry, I got to let go of Montez. Yeah. I consider keeping Montez over Curl, though, just because the importance of the edge rusher position is more important.
Which is why don't they potentially? It's a gamble, right? Let's say this offseason we should move Montez right now for something. That way, when he leaves, you'll get a 3rd round compensatory pick. But if you can get a 2nd or more, you've won. Won.
If you're asking me for an example, if Seattle says we'll give you this pick for Montez this year, and then we end up picking Jalen, whatever his name is,
Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. If they traded Montez Sweat for the right to pick Jalen Carter, I would not be mad at that, man.
Yeah. Greg Delaney said he'd be cool for losing Curl to keep chasing Sweat. Ryan Elias said he'll pass.
I would too. I would too. And I love Curl. I don't want to lose him.
I do have a little bit of news on Chase jerseys. Kind of veering off for a second, but I want to say it before I forget. So I don't know if this has been reported anywhere publicly or anything like that, but I can tell you that I do know that Chase Young is training right now in Denver.
Denver, of all places.
He is up in the Mile High Air training, which is really good. A lot of your MMA fighters, that's where they'll go. They'll go
get that altitude
to the Rockies. Yeah, because it builds your cardiovascular endurance.
Sleep in a hyperbaric chamber.
I don't think he's ever had an endurance or motor problem, though.
Yeah, but you know what? When you're coming back from that injury, you do lose some of your wind.
And I think by doing that, you get like higher red blood cell count, so it helps heals.
I like the chase we saw last year. If y'all want anything to happen, I would pray that he changes the defensive scheme. You know, I know half the year, half the guys were out. Maybe that was the issue why it was so vanilla as far as our defensive front and our pass rush. It seemed like the year before that when we were terrible, we blitzed more. I just feel like that. I don't know if it's true, but it felt like we blitzed more when we were not good on defense.
I'm with you. That's the scheme Del Rio run.
George Carmi asked the question: did we pick up the 5th-year option for Young? No, we did not.
Well, the deadline is May 1st, George. They have 16 days. 18 days to figure it out.
I think they do it.
Yeah, 18 days to figure it out. Ron's like holding it hostage right now. I think George says
when's the first day? When's the what's the name camp start? Next week?
It starts on Monday.
All right, so I bet he's waiting to see him then.
He'll probably be there. Lamar said he ain't showing up. Saquon's not showing up. Saquon said, I am not showing up. It's voluntary. Who knows? We'll see.
Given everything that people said about the last time Chase skipped these things, just for optics, it would look good.
Right.
Yeah, I think if Chase shows up, he definitely gets it. But I think he gets it anyways.
George says Jalen Carter thinks he's going to Seattle. Worse, he falls to Philly at 10. Man, don't say that. I don't want to see that. That's another beast of a defensive tackle. That Philly has. You know, they're already stacked on the defensive front. I think they lost what's his name, Javon Hargrave. They lose Hargrave, but they still got some good talent on the defensive front end.
Philly lost a lot of guys too, man. Other than linemen, they still got a lot of linemen.
Philly basically
they lost linebackers, defensive backs. Why would you pick a defensive end at 10? They still
the problem with Philly is that they have basically boxed themselves into a corner now. They can't if they've lost enough. They kept a lot of guys, but they did so by basically mortgaging any hope of June 1st designations to open up cap space because they can't afford to lose anybody else.
And then they still got to sign Hurts next year.
Yeah. So they've boxed themselves into this corner. Philly, as much as people want to say, I think Philly is taking a big step back this year. Yeah. They'll compete for a wild card maybe because they're that talented.
I still think they're the best team in the division right now.
I don't know if that's how that's going to play out. I mean, on paper maybe. But I do think that both the Giants and the Commanders have taken that step forward.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think Carter's a defensive tackle, anyways. That's why I think
everybody's coming. Everybody in the division except for Dallas, because Dallas has fallen off. Yeah. But everybody's kind of coming to the same point. It's just that Philly's coming to it from an opposite direction.
Yeah, we're talking about we're getting better. I don't think like Philly. Yeah, maybe they. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know if everyone got better. I wouldn't say no one got really, really much worse. Let's get to somebody's
step back, and Dallas took a step back.
Dallas probably did. You know, Zeke was already bad anyways. Let him go. They franchise tagged Tony Pollard. Probably,
I don't think Philly is going to be a Super Bowl contender this year. Maybe on the outside looking in.
Yeah, it'll probably be somebody we're not even thinking about looking at. T-Hill says, who should we take at 16, quarterback or OT? You know what? Either one. Joey Porter Jr., You couldn't go wrong with either of those picks, to be honest.
Who are the guys who would you get pissed off if they pick? What position would piss you off?
Edge rusher.
Yeah.
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
Quarterback.
Wide receiver.
Quarterback wouldn't piss me off, man. I don't want it, but it wouldn't piss me off. If like Levis or Richardson or one of somebody out in the top 4 or 5 guys slide to 16, I wouldn't be mad, man.
Yeah. George says Young has a higher upside. Hey, we have a ding, 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 ding. We have a subscriber to George's channel. Let's appreciate that. T-Ho, thank you very much. Thank you very much, George. Always love connecting people. George says he likes the strategy by Ron to push Young, kind of like by holding out his fifth year option.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing about pushing, sometimes we will fall away. It just don't like to be pushed. You know what I'm saying? Like some people just push the ones that keep going.
I don't see Chase Young as that guy.
Yeah.
Knowing he came from DeMatha, that was drilled. That they drilled that into you.
Thanks, George.
I like Chase, man. He's one of my favorite players. I want Chase to be a dog. I like Sweat too. Sweat was my pick before the season last year to be defensive player of our team.
For real?
Yeah, if you go back and look at it, I picked Chase. I picked Sweat. I picked him to be a Pro Bowler. He made alternate. So
yeah,
I love Sweat, man. I want to keep them both. I keep them both before anyone else that we have to sign.
Well, T Hill said he'd take JPJ or Devon Witherspoon. I think those are both great picks. Witherspoon's a good pick.
Man, I want Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez is not. I don't think he's going to make it to 16. Yeah, and you know what? I think maybe next week we should do a mock. We'll figure out how to do a fun mock here.
If you like,
Marcus is joining the show next week, guys.
Hopefully, Marcus, we can have you on next week and do a mock draft.
If you like,
Darnell, right?
If you like the way St. Juiced plays, but you want a more talented version, you want Joey Porter Jr.
The only thing about Joey Porter though is he's a 4-4 guy. And we are slow. We're good at defensive back, but
he gets slow. His 10-yard splits one of the fastest in the draft.
What did Ron say last week?
He gets the 4-4 faster. He gets the 4-4 quicker than guys who get the 4-3 get the 4-3.
But the problem with that is
that scientifically can't be right.
Listen, combine speed is not always game speed.
And Joey Porter Jr. plays 4-4 on the field.
I want to. He does. He plays fast, but I would love to just have a burner, an athletic talent guy out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're used to that. We we grew up with Champ Bailey and Darrell Green out there and guys like that who were burners at corner.
Yeah.
Ryan says, you already know I'm a fan biting for Richardson, but defensive end and wide receiver would be dumb at 1. I think Richardson's just climbing up the draft charts, man.
Which one? The running back or the quarterback?
No, the quarterback.
Yeah, man.
He's just
like, I'm telling you, if one of those guys slide, man, I'm not going to be pissed at Washington. We haven't had a franchise quarterback in over 30-something years.
No, we haven't.
Like, why wouldn't you? I understand that everybody's in on Hal. It can still be Hal's year, man. It can still be Hal's year.
We've
but
taken.
If it ain't.
Hold on. We don't have a history. We don't have a good history. A good history of getting somebody in the first round as a franchise quarterback.
No,
man. When's the last one we got though? That we didn't have to play. That we didn't have to play
right away.
Heath Schuler.
Yeah, Heath Schuler.
Yeah, you're right.
Dwayne Haskins. Heath Schuler, man, that one hurt. That one hurt bad.
Yeah, Heath Schuler sucks, man.
That one bad. Shout out to Heath Schuler though. He had a lot of health issues. He ran for government, Congress. I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
He was actually. Here's the thing. I actually didn't mind him in Congress. I thought he was a pretty reasonable, pragmatic guy. When he actually challenged, here's the little thing. Back when he was in Congress, he actually challenged Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House, and I was all for that at the time because the Democrats were in power. He's a Democrat, but I think he's a lot more of a pragmatic person. He's not stuck to specific
reasonable for those.
He's not a ideologue, and I like that about him. So kudos to Heath Schuler. I didn't particularly care if he was a quarterback, but I liked you as a politician.
He was the reason I actually started watching college football. He wore number 5 at Tennessee, and I love.
He wore 21. He wore 5 with us.
He wore 5 with us. Yes, he wore 21 at Tennessee. You are correct.
But number 1 in our hearts.
Number 1. He also had the real.
No, he was never number 1.
That was back when quarterbacks had the really long, big pads, long sleeves, and I was learning how to play quarterback at the time myself, and I watched him. The way he did his play actions was the way I tried to do my play actions. Of course, I was like 12 years old, whatever, however it was, and he would just do it and the ball would disappear. He would hold the ball behind his hip after he would, a couple times. It was just amazing technique. At least at the time, I thought
he did have good technique for that. Here's the thing at that, and I'm not that much younger than you, but I remember actually at the time I wanted Trent Dilfer. He was the other number 1 pick in that draft at quarterback. I wanted Trent Dilfer. I didn't want Heath Schuler. Neither one of them had a stellar NFL career, but
check out these other trades real quick. We'll go through these real quick. Okay. So the Cardinals trade DeAndre Hopkins to the Bills. No. These are all hypothetical trades to shake up the 2023 season. The Cardinals trade DeAndre Hopkins to the Bills for a 3rd round pick.
Fuck no.
Hey, I mean, look what DeAndre went from Houston to Arizona for. Didn't they get him for a steal?
I don't remember, but
I don't know.
I think they got fleeced.
What has Houston done?
Nothing. I mean, nothing. That's crazy. So the next one, I mean, imagine the Bills, Diggs and Hopkins together. I know
Diggs would hate that because Diggs likes having the ball.
Josh Allen just keeps getting more weapons, and Lamar just keeps getting nothing.
The OBJ's broke down ass.
This next one, the Colts take Lamar Jackson off Baltimore's hands. So instead of the 2 first-round picks they can do right now, they have the Colts trading this year's first-round pick, number 4, the second round, 35, next year's first round, and next year's second round. So 2 firsts, 2 seconds to receive Lamar Jackson. Is that a fair deal?
It depends. You're also going to have to pay Lamar Jackson like $50 million a year on top of
it. But that's the reason the Jets trade isn't going through, because you got to do both. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. If I would do both, if it was just taking to give him the picks, yes. If it was just paying him $50 million a year, yes. Both, I'd say no. And he's my favorite player.
Yeah,
I'd say no.
Then this one is the Giants capitalize on the Rams' decision to end the remodel and embrace a rebuild. So this has the Rams trading Cooper Kupp to the New York Football Giants for a 2023 first round, which is number 25, a 2023 third round, which is number 89, and a third round pick next year. So a first round, a third round this year, and a third round next year. Is that too steep for Cooper Kupp, or is that right around where it needs to be? What do you think, Phil?
That's an interesting one, because I do think Cooper Kupp is a fantastic wide receiver. Oh, that'd be interesting. I'd hate to see it, because I don't want the Giants to get better at wide receiver. They suck at wide receiver right now, and I like it that way. But
they have nobody.
If we want me to speak objectively, that's a good trade for both teams, because both teams get what they need. But for us, that would suck. Big time. You would have to get JPJ at that point.
Man, I'm interested to see what Cooper Kupp would look like outside being of that crazy ass offense, though.
Out of McVay's offense,
right?
Yeah, it would be intriguing nonetheless. I wouldn't want to see him in New York.
Remember, Jordy Nelson went to the Raiders, and he wasn't really
nothing. He went there.
Amendola went to another team, Miami.
He left the Rams and went to and got hurt. Turned into a concussion machine.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just not to say anything about moxie receivers.
I like how Dev uses all white wide receivers to make this comparison.
Let's just start talking about Steve Tasker and
what did he do?
We're talking about Don Beebe.
I mean, hell, fuck it. What did OBJ do?
They all have.
What did Wes Welker do when he left?
Wes Welker, he went.
Wes Welker went from the Dolphins to the Patriots and became a star.
I'm saying when he left the Patriots, what did he do?
Patriots, he just got. They all got. Man, you know what's funny? They all got concussions and retired. Every one of them.
Man.
Remember, all Cooper Kupp only played 9 games last year, and he had 75 catches.
Who?
Cooper Kupp.
Oh, Cooper Kupp. Yeah,
Cooper Kupp's a fucking demon.
Cooper Kupp is not in the same category as those receivers that we're talking about.
Until he leaves, he is.
First of all, he's not.
Wes Welker, Hall of Famer, bro. You tripping?
Wes Welker's a Hall of Famer. Cooper Kupp is not some shifty little undersized slot receiver.
Is a top
not Wes
6'7" receiver.
What's the one that was played with the one that played with Brady in New England this last time?
Welker, you mean Julian Edelman?
Yeah, Hall of Famer, bro.
Edelman. I mean, Brady made him Hall of Famer by doing dump offs across the middle.
Again,
he left New England. What did he do?
Let's back up here.
Retired.
Let's back up here. All right. Cooper Kupp is 6'2", 208. You're comparing to a bunch of 5'9" guys. Let's be real here.
To me, I feel like they're just more whiteness to hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
I was kidding. I don't know. I like them. I just look, man. Kupp. He had 2,000 yards receiving almost.
The 2 years ago, I think.
Year before last year.
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, that's rough.
That's
rough business on anything. But you gotta do it again, man.
Yep.
It's got to be real hard to know that you almost put up 2 bands worth of receiving yards and no one considers you a top 5 receiver.
I do.
Well, maybe top 5, but not top 2.
T. Hill says the Rams should not trade their best receiver in Kupp. They should keep their best weapon. McVay said they're trying to build around Stafford, Aaron Donald, and Kupp.
Build around a damn near 40-year-old quarterback.
But they also said that they would have entertained trade offers of Stafford this season, no doubt. The next one is Derrick Henry. This has the Titans trading Derrick Henry.
Did they tag
received the 2023 second round pick, the 2023 sixth round pick, and the 2024 third round pick. You can't. I mean, Derrick Henry's been in the league way over 5 years, so he can't get the tag.
Would you trade Robinson for him right now?
For Derrick Henry?
Yeah. And a pick.
No.
I mean, what does it say? Derrick Henry's 29.
Yes.
Has a lot of mileage. He's still a beast, though.
I would do it.
Derrick Henry for Brian Robinson straight up.
Baby Henry. Derrick Henry for Baby Henry.
I mean, one's for show. One is maybe.
Man, I don't know, man. He ate a bullet, son. And, still almost had a band on the ground.
Know what Brian Robinson's going to do.
I feel like he just leaves yards, man, on the field. I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just sometimes, man, like he just leaves yards.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. This next topic is kind of funny, Dev. I know you were a Cam fan 2 years ago. You really lobbied for Cam to come here. I know you 2 years ago. That was before. That wasn't the Carson Wentz. I think that was the Ryan Fitzpatrick year, right? Weren't you lobbying for Cam before we got Ryan Fitzpatrick?
I was lobbying for Cam when he played for New England and they cut him.
Yeah, I think so. But this next thing's kind of cool. So Cam Newton, if you don't know, he did throw at the Auburn Pro Day, and he did talk about different things, and he said there ain't 32 motherfuckers better than me. He still believes that, but there's a list of quarterbacks who he says he'd be willing to back up, and I'm gonna play this video for you here real quick.
In regards to my future in the NFL, and I wanted to set the record straight by saying, this is how I feel. There ain't 32 guys that's better than me.
Y'all can hear it.
But I also know that I could also be a backup, and I'm willing to be a backup. Players that I will back up. Number one, I'll back up Deshaun Watson.
You wrote them shits down.
He did.
Me and Deshaun Watson's relationship.
Deshaun.
He was on my 707 All-Star team. I've grown to admire the person, the athlete that he is, going through a lot of turmoil. But I believe that's behind him. My number two person would be wherever Lamar Jackson decides to go. Number three would be Justin Fields. Another product. Number four would be Tua Tagovailoa. Number five would be Malik Willis, another C1N All-Star. And I would say there's three rookie quarterbacks that I would love or enjoy to groom. Any of these rookie quarterbacks, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Any one of those guys,
I like it.
I would be happy to back those guys up.
Smoking the stogie.
Number 7, Jalen Hurts. Number 8 would be Aaron Rodgers. Number 9 would be Josh Allen. And number 10 would be Sam Howell, another C1N.
Sam Howell.
That's one of those camp guys.
But when you think about the list, it's really to the point. Now, some of those guys may already have penciled in backups that the franchise is probably okay with, and that's fine. I'm just voicing my opinion, and I'm just getting the narrative out.
Yeah.
Hey, it was all black guys and Aaron Rodgers, bro.
And Sam Howell. Samuel Devontae Howell.
I didn't make a mistake in what I said. I did not misspeak.
Because he's a quarter Korean. He's a quarter Korean.
You just don't want Sam Howell to have moxie.
He's a quarter Korean.
Quarter Korean, son.
Yeah. So for the audio crowd listening on the podcast platform, by the way, you can catch this podcast anywhere you can catch any of your favorite audio podcast platforms. Just search for Command This Podcast. We are there. Just to recap, he said Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Fields, Tagovailoa, Malik Willis, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, and Sam Howell.
Basically, every black quarterback in the NFL and Aaron Rodgers. That's what I'll back up all the niggas in Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Let's get to some of these comments here. Ryan says Chase trade up for Henry. I think he meant to say straight up for Henry. Ooh.
Fuck no. Get out of here, boy. Ain't no way.
I think, we're on the losing end of that one, but Derrick Henry, he's a hybrid, man.
Oh, after I think about it for a couple seconds, I'm like, you know what? He is Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a Hall of Famer.
Marcus said the Dolphins will be fire with King Henry.
Yeah,
and Ryan says, you see Cam talking to them kids with the damn headband, Bo. That man is sus.
Nah, man. Hey, man, look, Cam is an excellent teammate from whatever account anybody's ever said. Belichick said it, everyone says he's an excellent teammate.
T-Hill's not a fan of this. And sorry, Cam, we got a good, solid backup quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. Now, Dev, all things being equal, if we didn't have a backup quarterback, let's say Sam Howell was the only quarterback on the roster and Jake Fromm, I think, is still around. Would you rather have Cam Newton or Jacoby Brissett?
Depends. Like, I would rather have, right now in this particular moment, Jacoby Brissett's a better quarterback than Cam, right? But I feel like Cam would be more important because he's a bona fide leader, which I'm not saying he isn't.
He knows Ron.
Right. He knows Ron. And all you got to do is line up in that rugby 1 yard shit with Cam.
And let him run it in.
On every short yard situation, dog. And that's a viable position. That's basically an added position on your team.
That's how he was with the Patriots.
Man, that's all you got to do. I'm not saying, you could technically have him as the third quarterback. He'll just play. If you say, hey, man, you're the third quarterback, but it's 4th and inches. Right. You know, our 3rd and inches gone in. Yeah, Jacoby ain't going in over him on those.
Yeah.
I would use him. I feel like you can use him. You're going to have 3 quarterbacks anyway. That's my point. You got to need 3 anyways. Why not pick him?
Right.
Just makes sense to me. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. He's not a locker room bad guy. Everyone likes him. He's not going to start. He's willing to play backup. Hey, we'll throw you in on short yardage situation. We got a package for Cam Newton, man. Imagine a goal line package in that rugby position with Cam, Big Robinson back there. Hell, Gibson's as big as Robinson.
Yeah, that's true. Phil, looks like you got something to say. Phil has something on his mind. What you got?
I wouldn't mind if we didn't have a backup quarterback. I would be interested in at least toying with the idea.
Oh, yeah.
But I like Jacoby. I wanted him here to back up Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
In 2020. Me and Ellie beat that drum until there was no cover on that drum. I think Jacoby, can do the things that Cam can do now. I mean, I now know if this had been at the beginning of the preseason or beginning of the offseason, I should say, maybe I would at least kind of kick the tires on it, but
I don't
know. I think that he would also Cam because Cam was such a big star at one point. Right. There's a lot of this fan base who would immediately demand that Sam Howell be benched, and we start with Cam, and if Cam fails, then bring in Sam Howell.
Well, those people are dumbasses.
And that's the problem is that you don't want the situation like you had with Wentz, where but second quarter of that Browns game, you're hearing all these stupid people chanting Heineke, because we love mediocrity in this town. So do you really want to have that? I said the name.
I really don't know. I really don't know. If you know that, I get what you're saying. Because if he had any kind of success, even if it is just the rugby goal line shit, he would get so many rabid fans itching for more of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying.
Dev, check out Marcus's comment. He said, I read that Titans might release Malik Willis if they draft Anthony Richardson.
Absolutely.
I would pick up Willis as the 3rd quarterback. That's insane. Didn't they just pick him up?
He was so terrible last year, too.
I know he was, but what round did they draft him in?
3rd or 4th.
So their plan would be Tannehill and Richardson? Probably, right?
Tannehill's probably still on team.
I have to look. Mr. Titan, where are you?
Yeah.
Let's look it up.
You know what's funny? Ryan Tannehill,
because somebody would already have him.
Ryan Tannehill was supposed to be a Washington Redskin.
Yeah.
In 2012, Mike Shanahan said he would, or later after the fact, he wanted to sit pat at pick number 6 and pick Ryan Tannehill as our starting quarterback.
Who's better, Tannehill or Cousins?
Cousins, for sure. 100%.
Tannehill is still on the Titans.
No question. Cousins is better than Tannehill. I would, you think different, Dev?
I think he's better, but is it really a lot better?
No,
he's better. He might be a tier. He might be in the same tier, but higher.
I mean, Cousins has always had some pretty damn good weapons too. If you think about
Cousins has had some weapons, man.
He has Thielen, Diggs, Justin Jefferson.
Got the same kind of weapons.
You know, Tannehill. I will say, Tannehill's had some impressive seasons.
Yes,
he has. He's had some very good statistical seasons. I remember when they thought his career was done when he left Miami, and then he went to Tennessee and became the savior and took him to the playoffs.
Was a wide receiver in college, man. He was
Texas A&M. He played 3 years at wide receiver before converting to quarterback his senior year. And then the Dolphins drafted him in the first round. Like I said, Mike Shanahan wanted him to be our quarterback. This close. Dan came in and changed the course of history.
Do we win 2 division titles?
I don't see Kyle Shanahan asking trade for him though.
Do we win 2 division titles?
Did he fit the offense? Would Mike Shanahan still be our head coach if we had drafted Ryan Tannehill? Ooh, that's crazy.
Nah, man.
Kyle Shanahan gets his play action quarterback that he loves.
There's no way Mike Shanahan in this era is coaching in the NFL. He was a complete douchebag, man.
Yeah, he's too much of a boomer, I think.
He's definitely a bully, bro. He wouldn't get a job for the same reason Jack Del Rio will never get a head coaching job. It's like there's no way this guy.
Hey, the defense balls out. I think Jack will get another head coaching job. Ryan says Cam is a media nightmare. We don't need that extra. He's the football version of Kyrie Irving.
Absolutely not true, man. Cam Newton plays.
Yeah, I don't know. T.O. said Dan really ruined that draft, trading up to get RG3. But you know what? Having lived through that season, and I went to every home game that year.
You say that, man.
Wouldn't replace it. 2012
was right. You say that
season.
Right. If he hadn't got hurt, you might be taking a whole different thing.
Right. The Haloti Nada hit changed the course of history. And so did that next season when they got us for the violating the spirit of the cap.
That was the year they got it. That was the same year.
That was 2012 and 2013.
It was 12 and 13.
The
lockout was 2011.
You remember the whole thing. You remember the whole thing. Peyton Manning was on a jet with Mike Shanahan. They was going to get Peyton Manning and RG3.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't get Peyton Manning. They took the cap. And then he ended up talking Peyton Manning into going to the Denver Broncos. Man, that actually happened, man.
You, John Mara.
That actually happened, bro.
Yeah, we didn't have enough money to sign anybody.
Yeah.
We had like Jabbar Gap.
We would have had Peyton Manning, bro.
You, John.
We did still have the burner, our friend Anthony Armstrong, who I think could have had a great career in Washington. And that dude was fast. But Marcus said, Ryan, the Titans had a bad OC. We can develop them behind Howell and Brissett on a rookie contract if we claim him on a waiver. Maybe. Final topic for tonight. Season ticket settlement. So for those who've been, I know the sale of the team has been dominating a lot of the news headlines. You know, we have everyone's doing mock drafts. We have visits to the team. We have the sale. But this one kind of went unnoticed. But if you don't remember, the Commanders, they had a misallocation of funds that was uncovered during an investigation by one of these house committees of oversight or something. And there was a second lawsuit that was filed. And the Commanders apparently and the NFL conspired, allegedly, to hide the misconduct from the public. And then the NFL ended up finding the Commanders $10 million in 2021 following the sexual harassment stuff. And then to go along with that, the Commanders have been directed to pay over $625,000 to settle a lawsuit that they withheld season ticket holders' deposits intentionally create barriers to prevent fans from receiving funds. I don't know what's the story behind this. I don't know the motive behind it, but the Washington, D.C. Attorney General announced the settlement 3 days ago on Monday. Just saying the Commanders had to pay $200K to impacted residents and $425,000 to the district. So I'm not sure how withholding deposits gets money back to the city and DC, but apparently it did. So maybe this is the last of the small things that might have the black stain on us, and then we can just move forward with Magic Johnson and the crew and keep on moving. But
you could
I don't know.
Magic made it.
Say what?
You can do anything if Magic made it.
Magic made.
That's right. That song went. Anything is possible. 50 fuck Vivica. The game.
Yeah. Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, right?
Right. Whatever. I don't have anything to go with that. Fish don't burn in the kitchen, beans don't burn in the grill.
Fish don't
burn. There are no bunk beds in graveyards. That's one.
Man. Anyways, the team is giving $625K in the settlement. Yeah, they're taking all the Commanders have announced they're taking a much stronger oversight role in their season ticket policies and ensuring all necessary steps are being taken to reimburse fans and to oblige and enforce DC consumer protection laws. So I would like to say this was all pre of the new regime coming in. They kind of fell in on this. When I say new regime, I mean like the new front office folks like Joey and Jason and Julie, like the people that we like that are doing it, in my opinion, and they're doing a good job. I think this was all pre stuff that was already in place that they fell in on, and I think they're cleaning up this mess. Phil, you probably know more about this than I do, but
yeah, you are right on that.
Yeah, I feel that's what they're doing.
This dates back years.
Yeah,
and all that. Okay,
probably Bruce Allen's fingerprints are all on this for all we know.
We all know that despite how much we hate Dan Snyder, Bruce Allen is Satan incarnate.
Ryan says we got to keep going tonight. Give us an extra 10. You know what? When that outro music hits, that means anything goes. And sometimes we go and we keep going and we keep going. So who knows what's gonna come up once that outro music drops.
Nothing outlasts the Commanders podcast. It keeps going.
Yeah, we even talk about flashlights on this show.
And going.
Yeah, go check out the.
Hey, have you guys been watching the NBA playoff play-in games at all? I don't have to because I'm a Knicks fan, but I figured you.
I saw the Lakers. I saw the Lakers.
Wizards fans. I don't know if y'all still watch the NBA or not.
We did not.
Wizards fans tune out about in February.
Yeah, we're used to kind of.
They're asked to watch.
It's hard to hear non-playoff team people talk. I don't know.
Yeah.
What you guys are saying? There's only, it's like on Dave Chappelle when he said, "Y'all watch out as poor people." That's when they got all the money reparations.
When Knicks fans stop wearing denim shorts and Timbs and talk about bringing it back, then we'll talk.
Yeah,
you're a hater. Number one, that's a hater comment.
The Lakers game was good. Marcus said Lakers. Yeah, I watched some of the Lakers game.
Boo! I won $112 on FanDuel on the Lakers game though.
Ryan said the Bulls game was good, and for those in the chat,
absolutely good.
They
should never won that game, bro.
Give us a topic.
The Lakers, they cheat. I'm telling you, the league is cheating for the Lakers. Everybody's getting hurt in the West. The path is like clearing all the way out. They got
my God, the league is catering to LeBron.
They're cheating for the Lakers, bro. There's no way this stuff's supposed to happen. Like everybody, all of a sudden, Goldberg just punches the dude for calling him a bitch. Like it ain't the first time you got called a bitch. You couldn't do it like in a locker room.
And Draymond said he was proud of him.
He's 7 foot tall and light skinned, dog. That can't be the first time he got called a bitch in public, bro. I'm just saying, bro, that don't make no sense. Like, why would you wait?
That just feels like a shot at Rodney Thomas, who isn't even here.
Just saying. Can't be the first time somebody's called you that. You know what I'm saying? I bet if you called him a nigga, he wouldn't have done shit.
Look.
I should have said that. But I'm saying, man, it just. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, and they've always said the NBA is the WWE of sports. Man, they've always said bullshit.
That. I ain't willing to say that, but it's just obviously there's a dude in prison for fixing games. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, the Kings would have had a championship at this point had they not cheated for the Lakers and the Nuggets. They would have. You just think what you would have thought about Carmelo Anthony's career if he had a ring.
Yeah,
they cheated him.
Yeah,
legitly.
By the way, if you notice,
I mean, they definitely.
For the Lakers.
It's weird though because like they at least tried to hide it for the Kobe Shaq years. They aren't trying to hide anything.
The Kings would have had one. The fucking Suns might have had one. Not the Suns, but the Denver Nuggets might have had one. The Suns might have had one. They was cheating the hell out of for the Lakers, man.
Yeah. Yep. By the way, in 2 weeks, we'll be live streaming the first round of the draft, and I think we got to come up with a strategy to get as many people on as we can. So,
all I know is that I will be hammered. There's your strategy.
I mean,
Are we live streaming for the draft?
We should live stream the first round of the draft.
I'm going to hate
stamp it right here.
I'm going to hate my Friday at work.
The live streams is showed. I think the draft starts at 8:00. So
What
normally
day?
we go live at 8:30 on the 27th, which is a Thursday. So we'll probably start at 7:55, 8:00.
I think my kids are going to Florida too.
Oh, really? And I think it's in Kansas City. Drafts in Kansas City. So I think we would love to have everyone on in small spurts. So if you would like to come on, DM me on Twitter at Command This, or hit any of us up. You see our Twitter handles right here. Let us know, and we'll try to get this thing scheduled to where we can get people on for 10, 15-minute blocks and just bring people in. Let's just talk. Let's just keep the stream moving and kick it with you guys. So if you're interested, do it. And Chris McDaniel, thank you for joining. Like we were just saying.
And if you're
want to join,
Dev will call you a bitch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call anybody a bitch. I'm not.
First round live stream of the draft. We would love to have everyone on this platform to live stream with us and interact and talk, not just in the comments, but I'm talking about getting on camera with us and kicking it and just talk ball, talk about the picks being made. But I do want to go off topic for a little bit now that we're in free for all. So I got this pulled out my old shirt. You see, I'm wearing Cypress Hill. I'm a huge Cypress Hill fan.
So Deb, you want to be a rock superstar?
That's right. Have you seen the Cypress Hill special on HBO Max, Dev?
No, is that Cypress Hill special every other?
Bro, it's a little. It's a couple years old, I think, but man, it is so good. Do you know that Cypress Hill is the only hip hop group that have their star on Hollywood Walk of Fame? The only group.
Really? Not Run DMC?
Nope.
Not Run D or MC?
Nope. It's called Insane in the Brain. It came out this year. It's really good. I'm sorry, it's on Showtime, not HBO Max. Showtime. It came out earlier this year. I don't know when.
Nobody. Who has the Showtime app? Is that a real app? They got it.
Yeah. Well, I have it on for Verizon.
I ain't watched Showtime since Shane.
Bro, the Cypress Hill Insane in the Brain documentary is so good because I grew up on Cypress Hill. Like it was one of the first. That's probably this. I brought the Chronic in '94. I think later that year I bought their first album. I'm having a brain fart. But either way, man, I'm a huge Cypress Hill fan.
By the way, I see. You know why I give it to Cypress Hill for many reasons. But you remember when they had beef with West Side Connection?
Oh yeah,
I do.
Right.
Dub C, Mac 10.
Everyone. By the way, Wizard of Oz is Munchkins. By the way,
everybody. I remember. They had that. So you had two real tracks. Cypress Hill had No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah.
And West Side Connection had King of the Hill.
Okay.
And a lot of people, for some reason, automatically assume King of the Hill was a better diss track. No. If you really look at it bar for bar, No Rest for the Wicked slaughters King of the Hill. And that's hard to do because Cube is the guy who gave us No Vaseline.
King of the Hill wins, man.
King of the Hill, it's a whole lot of nothing. If you really listen to it, it's like how people will look at Ether versus Takeover, and everybody likes to say Ether became a verb, but realistically, Jay-Z did almost everything. It was just as effective in one verse as Nas was in 3.
I've always said, by the way, that Jay-Z won that.
I'm telling you, if you go back and listen and just listen to it bar for bar,
I understand why people say Nas win though.
No. I'm talking about Cypress Hill versus West Side Connect. No Rest for the Wicked is a sorely underrated diss track. I'm sorry, I've been waiting to talk about this with somebody for years.
Hey, I'm the one that said second round knockouts better than Jack the Ripper.
Nobody was paying attention to West Coast beef back then.
Hey, I said second round knockouts better than Jack the Ripper. People got mad.
Oh man, sorry. Chris said he even liked the Dr. Green Thumb. I love the Dr. Green Thumb song. Awesome. Hello, my name is Dr. Green Thumb. I'd like to tell you just where I'm from. What a good song. in the hills where the trees go wild, where weed feels. Oh man,
I did not like Black Sunday.
Black Sunday was great, dude. That's what had Insane in the Brain. Like
I thought Insane in the Brain was on the Insane in the Brain album.
No, there is no Insane in the Brain
Sunday
album.
Is on Insane in the Brain is on the Black Sunday album.
That's an Insane in the Brain album.
No, Black Sunday.
There is a Black Insane in the Brain album. Was their second album.
There's a Black Insane in the Brain album.
Black Sunday had listen. Black Sunday had I Want to Get High, Hand on the Glock. It had Lockdown. It had hits from the Bong, which is one of my favorite songs. When the Ship Goes Down. It had Insane in the Brain. It had What Go Around Come Around Kid, Cock the Hammer, It's Time for Action. They had Lick a Shot. That was the Black Sunday album.
Oh, that was on that one?
Yeah.
Then what is this fucking Insane in the Brain album?
There is no Insane. Insane in the Brain was on Black
EP.
Sunday.
It's an EP. It's an EP.
Okay. Which is their sequel to the original Cypress Hill.
Yeah, but Insane in the Membrane is on that.
Yeah, and then Temples of Boom, and then
they put it on they put it on the album, but it was on the EP first, in '93. And then the album
Cypress Hill. Marcus said, "Love the greatest diss track was No Vaseline."
No way. The greatest diss track of all time was Hit 'Em Up, bro. Stop playing. Stop playing.
Hit 'Em Up was probably the most influential.
You crazy? It's the best one. He starts the song out. I fucked your bitch.
Yes,
you
he did.
Motherfucker.
But can I tell you why it's influential?
First off,
it's the first one. It's the first one.
And the click you claim.
It was one of the first ones. That and No Vaseline were one of the first ones that
Too late.
You actually said the name of who you were dissing.
Yeah.
And you went real personal. Before
I know that Kumo D and Big Daddy Kane. Not Big Daddy Kane. Kumo D and
LL Cool J.
No. What's that?
Kumo D and LL Cool J went on for 4 years.
Wow. Yeah, man. I work. And all them diss songs, they used to go out the Ripper and all.
He didn't really say it. No. How You Like Me Now was the diss track.
How You Like Me Now.
Yeah.
And then LL came back with Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper was not the second round knockout.
And then Kumo D had Let's Go.
The Bitch in You comment still got beat by.
That's a fantastic track.
Definitely.
But yeah, LL and Kumo D went on from like 87 to 93.
Niggas Mob Deep.
Oh, love some Mob Deep. Since we're in free for all, I might as well keep the music running.
Well, Mob Deep dissed on Jay-Z. He was the only one to hit him back after Jay-Z had takeover. Nobody else did nothing.
Nope.
But Nas ended up.
Man, love me some Mob Deep. I'm telling you, The Infamous is one of my favorite albums of all time. In 1994,
Murder Music's my favorite one.
Murder Music is really good too. Yeah. But just The Infamous just had some of the most
imagine
iconic
how I felt, man. Growing up, I wanted to be a rapper my whole life, and then those guys were like my age. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, he's just like 17 like me, bro.
I'm late.
Yeah. It's like
yeah.
I look, Juvenile Hell was like it was a if you're any kind of artist or musician, man, it's life-changing album, man. It's one of those ones.
Yeah.
That you're like, man, that's a Shook Ones.
That's what I'm saying. To have Shook Ones Part 2 and Survival of the Fittest on the same album. Yeah. Come on, dude. And then Drinking
Hell on Earth.
Hell on Earth was a good one too.
Yeah.
Hell on Earth.
Juvenile Hell was dope.
Part 2.
It is basically The Infamous Part 2.
Yeah.
But it was.
I like it. The one after is it Infamy? The one after Murder Music, was it Infamy?
That's Infamy, yeah.
I like that. The one in there and then hit ding 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 ding. Whatever it's Keep It Moving.
What album are you talking about?
Infamy. I'm gonna look it up for you.
Infamy.
Yeah. Infamy had Hey Love, which is a great song. Pray For Me, There I Go Again, So Long.
Yeah, I love all them joints.
Get
away.
Gotta get away. Yeah.
And Get At Me. I like that song. Get At Me. Just want to rap me. Bitches want to clap me. I like all them songs, man. Yeah. Rest in peace, Prodigy.
Listen to Outlaw King 757. Thank you for joining. Said I grew up like a House of Pain in Cypress Hill. House of Pain. So I bought at the same time the House of Pain album, their debut album, and the Black Sunday album almost simultaneously, and just rocked them both back and forth.
That both groups work with DJ Muggs.
Yes, and Cypress Hill was on the original House of Pain album. And Cypress Hill and House of Pain collabed a lot. And Cypress Hill collabed a lot with Fred Durst. Fred Durst went on tour with Cypress Hill. And you know what they did after every show? So this is right when Napster went live, right? So they just did a tour of free concerts. They're like, you know what? If Napster's going to give away our music and the Rolling Stone, U2 is going to sue the industry.
Metallica.
Watch this. Metallica, we're going to give away free music. So they just started holding these free concerts, and they would buy pizza for everyone in the crowd. Like, I'm telling you, man, Cypress Hill is on another level. That's why I got the utmost respect.
That was around the time that like Limp Bizkit, they did like a live version of Jump Around by House of Pain.
They all collab with each other, man.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, unless you put the name under them, and I saw him, I think the other's the other. House of Pain, Cypress Hill, like, it's the same guys.
A bunch of Irish dudes and a bunch of Hispanics from actual Cypress Hill Avenue. You got to watch that documentary if you can. It's really good. I'm just saying, you're into. I know you like those documentaries, so you'll see how DJ Sin Dog left the group to go start a motorcycle club, and then he started a hard rock band, and then came back to Cypress Hill, and that's when they came out with an album with a side A and a side B of rock and rap. And that's how rock superstar and rap superstar were born, because they brought in Sin Dog's hard rock influence. Because Sin Dog, like, he left and just had a passion for, the roar, that screaming, metal rap. It's good.
You know what? That's a California thing, because Ice-T did the same thing with Body Count.
Ice-T is all over this documentary.
I'm sure.
He talks about the influence. He talks about it's great. If you guys can watch it.
Be legit in it.
Out of everybody in this chat, I bet you I'm the only one who's seen Body Count live.
What? These guys hit him as way overrated.
Jimmy Lee Patterson, our brother Jimmy from YouTube says,
you can't do it in a black and white picture.
Hit 'em up is one of the
videos in black and white.
It is the greatest diss track, in my personal opinion, of all time.
Other than You're So Vain.
We have a
You're So Vain. I'm sorry that the song's about you. That might be the greatest diss song. You know what I'm saying? You're so vain. That's a diss song. Oh. If you think about it. I mean, Jump is a diss song from the Crisscross to Another Bad Creation. Don't try to compare us to another bad little fad on the map, giving you something that you never had. I make it jump, wiggle, and shake it.
ABC was so innocent. Little row.
I know, man. They dissed him. Dissed the fuck out of him. Nobody even knew it.
Marcus said Mob Deep Quiet Storm was
Inside Out is weedy whack.
Lil' Kim killed it. She did kill it in Quiet Storm. It was great.
Lil' Kim, in my opinion, one of the top 5 greatest rap females ever lived.
Yeah. They sampled the song from Weird Science in that song.
Really?
Not Quiet Storm. I'm sorry. That different song.
Shook Ones?
No.
Mobb Deep song?
Mobb Deep song.
You tripping.
It's off of
what song? Do it again.
It's on Hell on Earth. It's
Temperature Rising?
That's not Dropping Gem on it.
No, it's Temperature Rising.
Yeah. That's infamous.
No. Man, you're gonna make me look it up. Either way, I'll figure it out.
Songs.
All right.
Hell on Earth?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Outlaw King said How I Could Kill a Man was my jam. It was. It's a good song.
It was Give Me Something That You Can't Understand. I want to see the Mario Brothers.
Shout out to the victims and families of the mass shooting in Louisville. Yeah, shout out to them, man. That the Louisville, the bank, man. Terrible. And
they said his mother had called 911 and said he was on his way to the bank, and I guess nobody even took it serious.
Yeah.
You're ready to sue the shit out of state.
Man.
City, rather. My favorite Mobb Deep song is probably a Prodigy. The HTTC album, Prodigy, which I think is a classic album.
Yeah.
But I think Keep It Thorough is probably my favorite Prodigy. It was a brief time, like a year or two, brief period where Prodigy was like on the throne, dog. Just like a brief period.
Get It Twisted was a song, Dev, on America's Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They sampled it. Yeah.
Okay.
Outlaw King says, "How about Troy? I'm a baller."
Little Troy. One hit
That's
wonder.
that Houston rap, right?
Yeah, Houston. That's like this is why I'm
Wanna be a
hot.
baller.
Like
That's
at one time,
1998, 99.
that's like this is why I'm
Wanna
hot.
be a baller.
I'm like
Shot
one of
caller,
5 people who
20-inch
remembers him,
blades on
knew
the
of him
Impala.
before This Is Why I'm Hot. I knew him from that joint he did with Baby Blue Sound Crew
I don't know who
when he
that
was
is.
Mr. Mims.
Yeah. Wasn't it Pastor Troy?
Pastor
No,
Troy, no, that's a whole
no,
different
he's
dude.
called Lil Troy. I know who he's talking about.
Yeah, Lil Troy from Houston. Pastor Troy, thanks for Louisiana or somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Maybe.
I was down in school in
wrong.
Florida in 1998 at college, and I had this dude from Houston, and all he did was play Lil Troy, man. That's all he did. I had never heard of him.
By the way,
being
Pastor
from the
Troy's
DMV.
song "Everlasting Gay" is the worst rap song I've ever heard in my life. Next to "It's So Cold."
It's so cold in the D.
It's So Cold in this worst video. You know what I'm saying?
It's so cold in the day.
You've seen the Beavis and Butthead video of that, right?
Oh yeah, that's where I found the video from. That's where it became famous.
Yeah.
It's the first.
Yeah,
that's
so
the
funny.
first
It's
episode
so
of Beavis and Butthead. That's the first episode of
Is
Beavis
it?
and Butthead. It's episode
It's so
1.
cold in the D?
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Outlaw King says DOS effects. They want
Boom,
effects.
skiggity, boom, skiggity,
Boom,
boom.
skiggity, boom. I lickety love you. I lickety love you, you biggity bitch. Yeah. Jimmy Lee said he's East Coast all day. I'll never give that fake rapper Pac any credit.
I like East Coast rap.
Let's run this back. Pac's from Baltimore.
Right, he's from Baltimore. No, he's actually from New York.
I thought he's from
And
New
then
York.
No, he went Baltimore to New York to Oakland.
But Jimmy, you got to
LA.
go back and watch our top 5 rapper
So is he a Southern
show
rapper
we
then?
did. We did a top 5 rappers of all time show about what, a month ago, maybe 45 days ago. Go check it out and you'll be surprised. We had a dude who was all up in Texas. All he did was Texas. Maxie Don't Sleep. Shout out to Maxie Don't Sleep. He was all about Texas.
Maxie lives here down the street.
But I'm saying his rap influence and who he loved was all the
was
Texas rappers. Lil Boosie.
Except
he
for
loves some Lil Boosie.
he like Ransom was number 1. He's a New York rapper.
Yeah.
Or a Jersey rapper.
Yeah.
By the way, Patterson, Mr. Patterson, Tupac, every rapper is fake, bro. Like that's a crazy. I mean, I understand there's levels to it, but
the realest rapper of all time was probably Hammer, if you think about it.
Basically, he never rapped
He
about
was
shit.
about that shit.
I'm just saying, like, I'm keeping it 100, man. Like, do y'all really believe that Fat Joe was out here selling crack with $1 million in his bank account from rapping? Like, does it make sense to you? Like
Fat Joe, yeah, that's it. Fat Joe was really about that.
Yeah, was. I'm talking about now. He still raps about it now, like he did yesterday. Like I'm just saying. And Fat Joe's a legend, by the way. I like Fat Joe because he makes good music. I don't believe that Martin Scorsese is a gangster because he writes gangster movies. You know what I'm saying? It didn't. I don't know why we keep people like rap people. We hold to that standard. Like nobody thinks
they don't hold that standard anymore.
That Spielberg is out here friends with aliens just because he writes an alien movie. You know what I'm saying? He's not an expert on aliens. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to me, man.
I believe Andre 3000 is as weird in real life as he is on record.
He's got social anxieties though and depression. He talks about that. That's why he doesn't come out with anything.
Outlaw King said Onyx.
Slam. Hey, by the way, the Kurt Jones album from Sticky Fingers, classic. If you never heard the Outlaw Kings, listen to it's like the first song to the end is a whole movie.
So I had the tape in 1993, 92, 93, I don't know, 94, one of those years of Back to Fuck Up, their first major one. Oh man. And then they had some small hits afterwards. That first album did go platinum, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then their second one was All We Got Is Us. And then they had Shut 'Em Down. Shut 'Em Down was a good one too. But after that, I don't know what happened to them. Like before the early 2000s, then they just disappeared. Sticky Fingers was an actor.
He's Blade and get beat up on MTV.
Yeah, he was Blade.
Fredro skateboarder beat him up.
Fredro Starr went and decided that he was going to save The Last Dance for someone.
Remember that skateboarder beat up Blade on MTV at the time?
Oh man,
he was the Daywalker.
Yeah, Daywalker. Chris McDaniel says Second to None DJ Quick was fun to listen to.
You put a C in that word.
DJ Quick. You want to talk about other West Coast groups? You want to talk about CMW, baby? Compton's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Spice One. You wasn't a G because the G ain't in you.
MCA every episode. MCA did the motherfucking house.
Wasn't he in Juice?
He was in Juice. He was in Menace.
Yeah,
you got snaps on the Petro.
Yeah, that's what I remember from Menace Society.
Andrea Bus joining us said, "Hi, this is Toby."
That's my girlfriend's daughter.
Okay, what's up, Toby? Thank
Mally
you for tuning in.
Name, by the way.
It kind of. I was gonna say Toby. That's
yeah.
You know, is that the Roots? Roots Toby. Outlaw King says Method Man. Hey, I'm a huge Method Man fan.
HOD man. Hey, do you watch the Wu-Tang Chronicles?
I started watching some of it, Dev. I watched the first 2.
Pretty good.
It's good. It's really good.
That is by the way, ODB's son.
Is it?
Yeah, I think.
All right, y'all.
He replaced him.
We'll be here forever.
Yeah, we will gonna be here forever. Bring the Pain was the best to Cal.
I went to see Mario Brothers, man. It's a good movie. Go see it.
To your brain. Yeah, good album. Judgment Day was pretty good too. People sleep on Judgment Day, but I really liked his
that whole album.
Man, best Wu-Tang game is only built for Cuban Links.
Those Day of the Man. Both
only built for Cuban Links
because
Raekwon.
Remember, you remember Def Jam. Last thing I'll say about that. Def Jam did the Day of the Man. It was in November of '98 or '99, where they released Judgment Day and Docs the Name 2000 on the same day.
Yeah,
Redman, and I'm a huge Redman fan.
Redman, Rottweiler, one of the best songs. Love Redman.
So underrated.
Yeah, very good rapper.
Yeah, people forget how good he was. He put out 4 strong albums in a row.
By the way, Jimmy, Tupac killed 2 cops, man. I don't know how South. I don't know how South.
Time for some action is still
170 pounds and brags about it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm wearing 165. Like we should do wearing 165 and these tricks are down. Like, come on, man, 165. You got to.
Time for some action by Redman is still a great song that nobody ever talks about. Because you know who sang that hook is freaking Be Real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That circle.
Hey, by the way, Method Man was the only guy to have a cameo on the Biggie album, man. He's the only feature on the entire first Biggie album. Method Man. No one else is on it.
There ain't too many features on the second Biggie album too.
Yeah, there ain't. Yeah.
It was until Life After Death where all the people started piling on.
Yeah.
Puffy was like, I gotta get these.
All right. We're gonna wrap this up.
We gotta wrap this show up. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, that was
I got people to call. My phone's been buzzing this entire podcast.
HOD, man.
We appreciate you tuning in. This was a little bit longer because Ryan Elias asked for it. So Ryan, I hope you're still sticking around. This is what we do. You wanted to keep going. We could talk about this all day. Bone Thugs and Harmony, another great group I love talking about. East 1999, great album. Creep on a Come Up, good too. We could talk about this stuff forever, man. We will definitely have to have a free-for-all show about hip-hop, for real. We did
we can talk about it in the draft.
We could talk about it at the draft.
We're gonna kill some time. We're gonna have some time to kill.
Yes, we will do it. But thank you for tuning in. You can catch us any of your audio podcast platforms. Like I said before, please go like and subscribe to the show on YouTube. We really appreciate it. We will be back next Thursday for another live stream. As always, we'll see if the team has been sold before then. We know we had some smoke. There's some smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire. We know that.
All right, I'm bound the team. I ain't supposed to tell y'all.
let's do some shout outs before we shut this bad boy down. Dev, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to my third oldest, Alyssa. She has made the finals to be an Arizona Cardinal dancer, cheerleader, whatever they do. So she's right now at the University of Arizona dance team. So she's going to do the stunts and the dance team at the Arizona Cardinals. Hopefully, I'm still gonna be watching.
Is she taller than Kyler Murray?
Basically, yeah.
Okay,
it's probably closer to 6 foot. But yeah. So shout out to her.
Phil, you got any shout outs?
Shout out to my son Ben. He's saving the best for last. He's in his final semester of his senior year of high school.
Yeah.
All A's.
Hell yeah. I mean,
on a roll.
What classes is he taking the senior year though? Like fish bait 101.
I took office.
I know he's taking. Right. I know he's taking a language. I know he's taking. What else was he taking? Oh, he's taking I know one of the classes a home ec type class.
What?
But I know he's also taking because they do semesters, so it's like 4 classes during the fall, 4 classes in the spring.
Block scheduling.
Yeah,
They do block scheduling. And I know one of them's like a home ec class. One of them is a language. Like I think he's taking like Spanish 3 or something like that.
Oh shit.
And he's got a couple other classes in there too. I can't remember what he's taking.
What's the worst class y'all? What's the dumbest class y'all took in college? I took like golf, which was basically basketball,
bowling.
Rained.
I did bowling.
Hold on, dumbest that we thought was dumb, or dumbest that was actually dumb?
Yeah, well, you know, Denny got a bowling scholarship in college. My boy Denny.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
lots of money out there for scholarships.
I took bowling and I took weightlifting as an elective.
Wow. I was gonna say chemistry for engineers was the stupidest class I ever took. I barely passed.
That's a real class, man.
It was so dumb. Who cares about moles and joules? And
I took earth science. I thought it was for like people with learning disability, bro. I thought it was like it's got to be a general. It's got to be an LD class, right? It's got to be special needs.
In college.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I went in there, man. No, bro, it's a math class, bro. And it's like calculating the distance from Earth to the sun and back around, bro. It's like
in college, I took a full year of geology. I took 2 semesters of geology.
Yeah,
I love geology.
It was self-taught. They give you you basically, here's all your work that's due. Half of this is due by midterm, half of this is due by the end, and this is your final exam project.
I took African American Studies, dog, and I thought all the answers were Martin Luther King. They was like, hey, what was the woman's name that refused to get off the bus in the 60s? I was like, shit, sure is a woman. I ain't know the answers.
Hey, Jimmy Lee's still going in on Pac. He said Pac ran around with thugs who wanted to be an artist. Pac was an artist who wanted to be a thug. People got killed for his recklessness.
That part, people got killed for recklessness is true.
A lot of people gotten killed for the recklessness.
But he did kill 2 cops that's beating on a nigga though. I'm not saying he was a thug or nothing, but he's at least hood. That's all you really gotta be. You know, ain't nobody no gangster. But if somebody ran up in my crib, I'm shooting the fuck out of them. That's not gangster to me. That's hood. You know, I'm not. That's all I'll say.
All right, y'all. All right. We're gonna be on this for another hour.
We will. Hey, thank you for everyone who tuned in tonight. We really appreciate it. Please check
Tupac.
in. Rest in peace, Tupac. Check in with us next week. As always.
Wait a minute. What? I got a friend of mine. Shout out to Tupac Jr. too. I got a friend of mine that named his son Tupac, like his actual name.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to that dude.
All right, fellas. Peace. Hell, we out.